to my channel. My name is Elise, and today we are going to be going over my November wrap-up. I read 12 books this month, so we are going to talk about them. Okay, guys, so the okay, guys, so the first book that I read this month is Marriage Be Hard by Kevin and Melissa Fredericks. I picked this up because I am a huge fan of Kev on Stage. I am subscribed to his channel. I watch a lot of his content. I pay for his app that he has. I'm always watching like everything he does, and so I really just wanted to support him and his wife on their book. This is just a book that they wrote with 12 conversations and lessons that they have learned while being married. I think this book is was really good. I didn't rate it. I'm not really gonna rate it. I think I might have given it a 4-star on Goodreads, but really I don't really have a rating for it. I'm not married, but I thought that the lessons were great for anybody in a relationship. So yeah. The next book that I read is I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica L. Sanchez. So this book is about Julia. Julia is someone who is kind of like the black sheep in her family. Her parents don't really understand her. She doesn't really understand her parents. And Julia has a sister, Olga, who was always like the perfect daughter, did everything, you know, perfectly right. Her parents were like so proud of her. Well, Olga ends up passing away, and during the grieving process, Julia discovers that Olga may not have been as perfect as everyone thought that she was. This book, it deals a lot with grieving. It deals a lot with like self-acceptance. I don't know, I gave this a 3-star. I think that this is heavily impacted by the fact that it is YA. I found the main character to be rather annoying. I understand that she's a teenager, she's young, but I found her a bit annoying at times. And so that is why I gave this a 3-star. I felt like the topics that they discussed in this book were phenomenal, but I just didn't like the main character. It was really difficult for me being in her perspective. Okay, guys, the next book that I read is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the A Court of Thorns. This is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I don't know how much I can give away or talk about this book without giving away spoilers for the first one, but overall I would say this book is following Feyre. Feyre is someone who was born in the human realm. She is human, and it is her going to and navigating her way through now living in the Fey realm. It is a Fey romance, and I think that that is my very vague synopsis of the series. I think overall that is kind of just the heart of the series of what it is. Very vague. I rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. So the next book that I read this month was November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I did do a spoiler-free reading vlog of this where I read November 9 on November 9th. But a quick little synopsis for this. This is following Fallon and Ben, and through, you know, happenstance, they meet each other on November 9th, and they really start to get along with each other, and they end up spending the entire day together. The problem is that November 9th, that day is Fallon's last day living in California where they live, and she is going to be moving to New York at the end of the day. And they decide to that they are going to meet up with each other on November 9th every year for 7 years and catch up with each other. At the time, I rated this a 4-star, but I actually think I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Ben, I'm not a fan of Ben in this book. I feel like he is extremely manipulative. I'm not a fan of his at all. That's how come I'm going to lower my rating. Overall, I do feel like the book is very well written. It's just I'm not a fan of his character, and I feel like I'm supposed to be. I feel like he's written in a way where you're supposed to like him, and I just don't. Okay, and then the next thing I read, I read 5 memoirs. So I read In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado, Crying in the Bathroom by Erica L. Sanchez, I'm Glad My Mom Died by I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zahner, and lastly, Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford. I did rate all of these 5 stars. I love memoirs so much. I do have a video where I talk about my experience reading all 5 of these memoirs, so I will go ahead and make sure that that video is linked down below. The next book that I read this month is Elektra by Jennifer Saint. I'm not going to try to pronounce these names in here because they are very, very difficult, but this is a Greek retelling, another feminist Greek retelling by Jennifer Saint, her telling the stories of women in Greek mythology. In this one, we are following 3 different women during the Trojan War, and they're all 3 in very different circumstances during this war, a couple of them on different sides of the war, and so we are just following their story. And I ended up rating this one a 3-star. It was extremely difficult for me to connect with any of these characters in the beginning, up until about, I would say, like the last third of the book was when I finally started to connect with the characters, and so that is why I'm giving this a 3-star. I still very much want to continue to read anything that Jennifer Saint puts out. The next book that I read was Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book right here. I loved this book so much. It is probably one of my favorite books of the year. I initially wasn't even going to tab it, but then there was a certain part that came along and I was just like running around the house looking for my tabs because I had to tab it. So in this book, we are following Carrie Soto. Carrie Soto is a tennis player, and she is currently retired. And then when a tennis player is about to beat her record, she decides that she is going to come out of retirement and defend her record, even though she is, you know, past the age of tennis playing professionally. So she's going to come back and she's gonna do her damn thing. And I loved this book so this book was literally amazing. I do believe that there is a conversation to be had about Taylor Jenkins Reid writing Hispanic Latinx women. I don't think I'm the one to have that conversation or to start that conversation, but I do believe that there is a conversation there. You know, in the past, I know Taylor Jenkins Reid has also written other characters from other nationalities and ethnicities as well, like Evelyn Hugo, and do believe that there is a conversation there. I'm just not the one who should be in charge of that. Besides that, I love this book. I rated it 5 stars. Lastly, I read The Layover by Lacey Walden. This book is about Ava, and Ava is a flight attendant who is going to be flying her final flight ever, and this flight is very special because they are going to have a layover in Belize that she's going to be able to enjoy the Belizean, you know, Caribbean water and just enjoy it for a day on her layover. The issue is when she goes to do her final flight, she sees that she's going to be working with Jack, who is another flight attendant that she does not like at all. And so they do this final flight and they have their layover in Belize, and then an issue happens with the plane and they have to stay even longer. And during that time, Ava and Jack get to talking and realizing that there are a few misunderstandings and that maybe they don't dislike each other as much as they thought they did. I did very much enjoy this enemies to lovers romance. I gave this a 4 star. I do have a separate video, I think it was my last video that I posted, with a mini rant on one of the issues that I had in this book. I will go ahead and link that down below, but overall I really did enjoy this and I rated it 4 stars. Okay, you guys, that is everything that I read this month. I'm gonna try to lift it up here. Oh god. This is all of the books that I read in November. So that is all the books that I read in November. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you read any of these, please let me know down in the comments how you felt about them and what you rated them. And if you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am currently doing Bookmas. I'm posting 12 books before Christmas this month. Or, oh no, 12 books. I'm posting 12 videos this month before Christmas. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.